my beautiful girls? Welcome in. I am so happy to have you with me. I have missed you girls. It's been, I think, a week and a half, but I'm so excited to be back. Today's topic is very, very much needed. And what we're going to be talking about today is how to revive and how to bring your feminine energy back to life. So the main topic today is rest, but how to truly rest your body. There's this idea that's all over the internet called the soft girl era. And I see a lot of people trying to live that lifestyle, but there's something that was missing in my life when I tried to do this. And it was the actual inner work. It was changing my mind to allow myself to rest, not just physically, but mentally and energetically. Let's go ahead and get started. Where this topic comes from is because I'm literally on day 5 of COVID right now. You girls knew this, but I went to Mexico last week for a vacation. It was so beautiful. I'm so grateful that I get to go to one of the most beautiful places in the world. And the last day of the vacation, I literally got COVID. So that's probably why I sound a little bit different right now. And I was really reminded to slow down and rest. And I always get my inspiration for our topics that we discuss from either my one-on-one calls or my own life. And so what's going on right now is this need to rest. If you do not rest your body will rest for you. And that is what has happened with me. I think I took way too long to go on a vacation, and when I did, my body just went into overdrive and rested way too much. So I'm a little bit sick, but I'm feeling good. I'm really excited to bring this topic with you. I could not wait. I had to make this video. So let's go ahead and get started. The main reason why rest is so hard in our world today is because we live in a society where we are programmed to hustle. Hustle culture is everywhere, and it starts from when we're born. We have this idea that our worth comes from being successful, from working hard, from not being lazy, and a part of that does, but there's a huge part that we're missing. How do we fill ourselves with creativity and energy and true inspiration if our body is always in this hustle mode? We cannot. And what I noticed in my own family growing up is that we were shamed for resting. We were shamed for just relaxing and taking it easy. And there's this idea that the harder you work, the more successful you are. That could not be further from the truth. In my own experience, and in less than a year, I built a 6-figure business by resting and playing and having fun. I have learned 100% that the softer your life, the more relaxed, the more healed, the more just rested you are and in your feminine energy, that is when true success comes. And it happens like this. So you do not have to hustle to create the life that you want. That is the number one limiting belief that you have to get rid of if you want to bring your feminine energy to life. Because what will happen is if you have that belief that I have to work hard, I have to always hustle, you will block your feminine energy. Subconsciously, your feminine energy will be scared to come out because you want to live, you want to survive. And in order to do that, you think you have to hustle. So that limiting belief, I have to work hard, I have to hustle, gone. Choose to get rid of it and replace it with the belief of the more relaxed I am, the easier life is, the better life is. Some signs that you could be in that overdrive state where maybe your body needs to rest. This is the number one sign. And I know it might sound crazy at first, but I promise it is a sign of needing to rest. It's feeling uninspired. It's feeling lost. It's questioning your purpose, your passion, and trying to find inspiration, trying to almost get back to how you used to be or become the woman that you know you want to be. It's like that in between when you just feel, I just can't do it. I just don't have the creativity. If you don't have creativity right now, if you don't have ideas or visions or excitement pouring out of you, I guarantee you, girl, you need to rest. And I will teach you how to do that in this video. Not just taking a nap or watching Netflix, true rest. How to rest and nourish your soul. That's what we're going to talk about. So feeling uninspired is sign number 1. Some more signs are maybe you feel that you're in a funk. Maybe you feel that there's no purpose to life, or maybe you feel I just can't find motivation to go throughout the day. That is a sign that your body needs to rest. Another sign too is that you feel physically and mentally drained. So that's more of the obvious. You just feel tired, you feel like you just want to lay down. And then the other number one sign, I'm saying that there's two number ones because there are, is procrastination. Believe it or not. If you are procrastinating, I guarantee you need to rest. This is one of the hardest parts of my own inner work journey, is resting as a perfectionist who loved to procrastinate. We could go down a whole rabbit hole of procrastination, but I'll sum it up for you really quick because a lot of people have this and do not know it. If you find yourself procrastinating, which is just putting off what you know you should do or what you want to do, two things may be happening. Number one, you just need to rest, you need to relax your body. Or number two, you are a perfectionist, and having every detail figured out and perfectly planned is stopping you from actually doing it. Both of these were the case for me. I needed to rest and I was a perfectionist. You have to let those go and your life will change. Trust me, my life has changed from it. So when you are procrastinating and you feel, well, how do I slow down? I know that there's stuff I need to do. Here's what's going to happen. When you give your body that actual time to rest, you automatically revive your energy to want to do what you should. Rather than little bursts of giving yourself that pleasure of resting versus the reward of actually getting something done, crossing it off your to-do list. When you give your body the rest and focus on that, rather than trying to balance the two I just previously talked about, your body actually wants to do what it should. And there's no problem doing it. There's no more putting it off. And we'll come back and talk about this more in a second. So if you do not rest, like I said, your body will rest for you. You will either manifest a sickness, or you will feel stuck in life. You won't have any new ideas coming to you, or your body will just shut down. You will disconnect from your body because it needs to rest. There's something so fascinating that I learned when I was reading, I think this was maybe a year ago. Have you ever heard of something called revenge bedtime procrastination? This is a perfect example of what we just talked about. So revenge bedtime procrastination is the idea of when you go to sleep at night, if you have not given your body any playtime or any downtime to rest, your body will rest for you. And what happens is you will lay in bed at night distracting yourself, procrastinating from going to bed. What this can look like is you'll scroll on TikTok for hours or stay downstairs, stay in conversations when you know you want to be in bed. And what's happening is your body is forcing itself to rest. When I learned this concept, it just blew my mind because it all clicked. If you do not rest, your body will rest for you. So if you are doing this, revenge bedtime procrastination, and you can't understand why can I not just go to bed at the time I want, you need to rest. This video is so for you. Okay, so let me see what you girls are saying in the chat, and then we'll move into the steps on how to actually rest. Also, my girls, I'm so excited to show this to you. So you know how I told you I'm creating some Glow Girl merchandise? I have one of the cups with me. It's full of hot tea right now. This is one of my favorite products I've ever created. And it's this thermos mug. It says, "It is my honor to love and nourish my body," on the front. And there's a little garden with a little watering hose. And then on the back it says, "My body is my garden." And I wanted to create products that were kind of an affirmation, but in a product. So when you sip, or when I sip my drink out of this, I'm reminding myself it's my honor to nourish my body. And I start subconsciously making different decisions throughout the day. It's so crazy. So these are on my website, thefeminineglow.com, if you want to get one. A few of you have already gotten the sweatshirts that say Soft Girl Era. I'm so excited to keep creating more for you. Hey, nice and tan from your vacation. Oh my gosh, I got so tan. I wish I could keep this tan all year long. I don't know if you girls can see it right there. Mexico is so beautiful. It was my second time there. And we went to Cancun. I didn't want to leave. It was so beautiful. Okay. All the questions that are off topic, let's save those for the end, and then I'll come back and answer those. I love your videos, Alexis. Thank you, Elaine. OMG, I didn't know you had products. I just released the products. Like the day before I left for vacation, I opened up the website. I have maybe 4 things right now, and I will be creating more. Oh, I feel that my body needs rest. Soft girl era. Yes, Morena. Oh, Morena, so nice to see you on here again, by the way, girl. The soft girl era, we as a culture are needing rest. That's why there is this feminine energy revival that's coming. It's because as women especially, we are burnt out. We have been living against our nature for so long that our bodies are begging us, please rest. That's why there's so many things that are thrown off today. Look at the sicknesses that we have. Look at the amount of women that their hormones are off. There's so much that are screaming as signs in our nature that we need to rest, that we need to actually connect back to our soul, connect back to our feminine energy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I need to know how to truly relax. I got you, girl. Let's get into how to actually do it. Number 1, how to actually rest. And I'm sorry if I keep stopping, my throat is killing me. Okay, how to actually rest. Number 1, this is one of the most important things I could ever say to you. It is remove the timeline. Let me tell you a story. One of my clients that I was coaching, she is this fabulous, what do I call it? I don't want to talk about what she does because her information is private, but she works in the corporate world, and she's so amazing. And she had something that we would always work on, is she would have this stress in her life that would always keep her focused on her goals. And every time I would see her, we would talk about the same thing. It would be, I just feel stressed. I'm not where I need to be yet with my relationship, my investments, my career, my health, everything. And suddenly one day on our sessions, I asked her, what is your timeline? What is the date that you have in your head to accomplish each of these things by? And she told me, and I said, who gave you this timeline? And she sat for a minute and she goes, well, I gave myself that timeline. And I asked why. We do this so much. We give ourselves a timeline. Why? Why do we know what our life should be like better than the Creator? Better than everything that is already mapped out for us? What if there's things in our path that we can't even see, but because we're trying to control it and make things happen on our timeline, we're never going to receive the blessing? God already knows our steps. And so I really asked myself this question too. Everything that was stressful in my life and where I felt burnt out is because I was not getting there fast enough. But fast enough according to who? If you just simply ask yourself that question, who gave me this timeline? Things are going to start to switch in your head. You're going to start to realize, wait a second, if I gave myself that timeline, I can remove it. And I can free myself from that stress. That's how you procrastinate too. Because you have that stress in your head, you never quite accomplish the finish line, and you constantly stay in the loop of shame, guilt, procrastination. Repeat, repeat. Free yourself from that, allow your body to rest, and remove the timeline. If you have a timeline in your head, you're never going to rest because you're always going to be thinking in the future. You're always going to be thinking of the next step. Even if you, and this happened when we would talk about this too, even if you are taking a vacation or if she would sit outside, she would tell me, I just don't feel rested. It's because of the timeline. It's because of the mental to-do list. You have to remove that. No one is keeping that for you. You are keeping it for yourself. And my girls who are in my course, think about the very, very first lesson that we talked about. How we talked about reprogramming your mind. You can have whatever you want in life. Where we talked about being addicted to stress and suffering. If you remember how I told you, everything that is programmed in your mind has come from your reality or your thoughts. So what do you think will happen if you start choosing new thoughts? What if you remove the timeline? What if you say, I'm no longer available to be stressed? I'm no longer available to follow a timeline. I'm going to accept what flows to me in life. What do you think will happen to your life? There was another thought that I had, and I'm trying to think of it. Maybe it'll come to me. you want to remove the timeline. Your life will get so much better. And something that I had remembered too is in the church that I go to the most amazing church in Las Vegas. And my pastor said one time, he said, imagine if you gave God 6 days instead of 7 for yourself. God literally tells us, and even if you're not religious, that's okay. Everyone is welcome here. But in the Bible, God says, take 1 day of rest. You have to rest. It's literally ordered by God. So if you follow what God says, and if you give him 1 day of your week to honor him and to honor yourself and to rest, imagine what he could do with the 6 other days, rather than what you could do with 7, feeling unrested. Take at least 1 day of the week to fully rest. This is the hardest thing for me, especially when I started my business. And it's because there's always things that I could be doing. I have 2 businesses that I run and my social media accounts. And I remember having the urge in the back of my head, Alexis, you need to take either Saturday or Sunday off. And I made a rule, I'm not opening my emails, I'm not doing anything on Sunday. That is my day that I rest. I do not even open up my laptop on Sunday. When I didn't have this 1 day dedicated to rest, I was always stressed and uninspired. Now when I come back, today is Monday. Yesterday I fully rested. I feel so good. It's so amazing what 1 day of the week could do for you. So give yourself 1 day dedicated to rest. That was point number 2. Okay, let me check in with you girls real quick. I'm so thankful for finding this account. Thank you, my girl. I am so grateful for every single one of you. I sit and think sometimes, how is it that there are 140,000 of us in this community? I am so lucky. 140,000 women that are the same exact vibration and frequency that I am, that are dedicated to their inner work and feminine energy journeys. It is like the best gift that I could ever ask for. 140,000 sisters. I'm so grateful for you. Yeah. Even the Holy Quran mentioned that. I had a feeling that the Quran mentioned it too. He who made the night a covering for you and the sleep a rest, and he made the day to rise up again. Yes. Oh, Alexis, I ordered your cup. I can't wait to get it. Miranda, I can't wait for you to get it, girl. Send me a picture with your drink in it. I'm so curious to see. I have another one that I haven't made, but I'm going to make, and it's going to say kombucha cheers on it. I'm so happy. One of my favorite DMs that I get from you girls is you sending me pictures of you drinking kombucha. I always think, oh my gosh, all my girls on their gut health journeys, yes. Good morning from Australia. Ooh, hey girl, welcome. What if the timeline is biological? Those eggs won't last forever, lol. Candace, yes, and that's true, girl. So with a situation like that, there's millions of options that you could do. And maybe your focus is going to be having a family if that's what you want right now. But there's other options such as freezing your eggs. You can always adopt. But what I recommend, stay open to whatever life has for you. Stay open to it. Because even if you're stressed and you're in that mode in the vibration of lack, that is what you attract and receive in response. So rather than feeling stressed and trying to control, say, you know what, I'm going to allow God to send me whatever is meant for me right now. And in addition, I'm going to get so crystal clear on what my desire is and keep my vibrational frequency in that match. And then I will receive what it is that I desire. Oh, I got inspired to wear flowy clothing because of you. Oh, thank you, girl. Girl, you need to go to Mexico. Oh my gosh, when I was there, they had so many dresses, kind of like this one. It was I was just in heaven there. It was so nice. Okay. Can you please show the dress fully? I can't with the way that my camera angle is set up, but I've worn this dress in another live stream. I'm trying to remember which one it was, and I show you the dress fully there. But this is what the back looks like. I think it's so pretty. It's a really, really comfy dress. I feel stressed when I'm resting. How can I change that? Yep, we'll talk about that in a few points down, because there is a reason for that. So point number 3, this one is so important too. In fact, if any of you have a sister or a mom or a friend who's also on their inner work journey and you see them struggling to rest, I'm going to recommend that you share this tip with them. And I tell this to all of my clients. Stop rewarding yourself for accomplishing and start rewarding yourself for resting. So what does that look like? What I used to do is I have an agenda, and I would always I actually still do this, but because I've done inner work to change stress, I'm able to do this. Before, what I would do is I would check off my boxes of my to-do list, and I would always get like this high. I would always get this, this chemical in my brain that went off and said, yes, good job. What I started doing is I stopped praising myself for getting my to-do list done. And I looked at it as neutral. I just said, this is something that's just a part of the day. Instead, when I rested, when I dedicated time for myself to just have play and fun, I rewarded myself. So that would look like in the middle of the day when I would want to sit on my bed and maybe read a book or go and watch some Netflix. I would praise myself. But specifically, I would praise myself in my love language, because that's how I believe you truly give yourself the best love. So for me, I would give myself verbal words of appreciation. And I would say, Alexis, good job, you're watching Netflix at 1 p.m. Or Alexis, good job, like we're gonna have a night where we just cook and listen to music, take a bath, get a massage, because you deserve a reward for allowing yourself to rest when normally you would sit and cross off that to-do list and get things done. The point that I've built my business to, I work maybe 2 to 4 hours in a day. I don't have to work the whole day, and I'm so grateful for that. But what happened is I was still stuck in that mode of being unable to rest. I would be done with my work for the day by 11 a.m. and I would create more work for myself because I was addicted to stress and I was addicted to not being able to rest. So those rewards for when I actually did rest, those helped me massively. And even if, let's say that you don't, or let's say that you have a job that's maybe a 9 to 5, there are times in the evening where you might find yourself hustling or burning yourself out. Rest instead. Because I guarantee you, everything that you need to get done, you will do it 10 times better when you are rested. My throat just started hurting so bad. So sorry if I keep coughing. Okay, point number 4. I love this one so much. Point number 4 is slow down to rest. But there's something specific that I'm going to give you. My girls who have been on with me for a while, you know what I'm going to say. Imagine that there is a dial right here on your chest, kind of like that circle that you used to be able to turn TVs down. So imagine that there's a dial right here. I want you to take that dial every single morning, reduce it by 15%. What that means is your speed decreases by 15%. How fast you eat, how fast you walk, how fast you drink, how fast you talk, everything is a little bit slower. How is that going to help you rest? Because you're going to be healing yourself out of survival mode. Survival mode is what keeps you in that state of hustling and unable to rest. When you slow down, everyone was telling me, Alexis, don't live stream today. I said, nope, I have to. I just missed the girls, and this topic is so on my heart. When you slow down and you are telling your body it is okay to rest, you are reprogramming your mind. You are changing the way that you show up. You are changing the way that you allow yourself to live. And it's going to feel so good. I used to do everything so fast, like eat really fast, talk really fast, just move really fast. And I realized it was a huge side effect of being in survival mode. So sorry, girls. I feel so bad coughing all this time. Okay. What does survival mode actually mean, though? If you've never heard of survival mode before, it is that mode of your body being in fight or flight. It's a constant state of stress. And how it happens is usually because either something traumatic has happened in your life, or you have just always been on the go. You have been stuck in a certain emotion. A certain emotion is blocked in your body and it's keeping you feeling in that point of anxiety. So when you're in survival mode, the way that I've described it before is, let's say that you're running through a forest and all of a sudden a cheetah starts chasing you. Your body is going to go into survival mode because it's in that fight or flight mode. It's flight, hopefully, where you have to outrun the cheetah. So what will happen is your body turns off its non-essential functions and switches on its essential functions to be able to escape that cheetah. That's why you've heard of people who fall on hikes and they're able to lift a really heavy boulder off of themselves. They're in survival mode. They've unlocked this unnatural human strength that normally we don't have until we're in it. But what happens if you stay in survival mode? Those non-essential organs that I was telling you about that were switched off, such as your nervous system, your ability to relax, your digestive system, your ability to process food, if those are off for long periods of time, what do you think is happening to your body? So much damage. That's why there's so much sickness today. It has all come from inner things such as trauma. So when your body is in survival mode, it's locked in that fight or flight mode, it is slowly getting crippled. And we see so many mental illnesses today, depression and anxiety and so much chronic stress and cancer and diseases. So many people are in survival mode. Majority of people are in survival mode. It's so scary to see. I used to be in survival mode. That's why I can recognize it like this. Because of the household that I grew up in, it was very toxic and abusive. My body was always in survival mode. So I was never able to rest. And that's what happened for a lot of us. That's why you might be thinking, well, I don't know, why is it that I can't rest? You could be in survival mode. Once you know how to heal that, you will naturally start resting. It's so amazing how it happens. So the girl who had asked me, how come I can't rest even when I'm sitting? This could be why. And I recognize that because that's how I used to be too. So how to heal survival mode. It is so crucial to know how to heal this. We are not going to have time to get into it today, but I have 2 amazing resources for you. Number 1, this is the number 1 resource that I could recommend. It's the Master Your Feminine Energy course, the section specifically on survival mode. I give you the science, talk all about it in the course there. And in addition, if you've already had the course, how to get out of survival mode, I have that free YouTube video for you there. I'm always in survival mode, domestic abuse survivor. My girl, I'm so sorry to hear that. Very real. It feels like you're describing me to the T as you know me personally. With survival mode talk. Thank you for reminding me I'm not alone in this natural response to environmental stressors. Yes. Oh my gosh, my girls, you are not alone. And the craziest thing, I wish I could sit down and individually coach every single one of you. You are not alone. The coaching calls that I have every day with my girls, the same things are brought up over and over again. We are all going through the same things as women. That's why I'm so grateful for the internet. I'm so grateful for this feminine energy awakening, because we're connecting and understanding we are not alone. This is something that we're going through all together. Yay, almost missed this live. Glow girls, I missed ya. Ah, welcome girls, so happy you made it. So point number 5. Point number 4 was slow down. I'm gonna grab my water. Point number 5, dedicate time to invest in inner work. This is so, so, so important. When you dedicate time to invest in inner work, you are teaching your body, number 1, how to align with the vibration of rest and relaxation and play and freedom. And you are also giving your body true rest. Excuse me. When you are scrolling on social media or you are in a very low vibe conversation, it's pulling your energy, killing your dopamine levels, and that's not true rest. That's why you can be laying in bed for 2 hours scrolling on your phone, but you feel exhausted, you feel unmotivated. It's not true rest. If you can switch that instead to scroll on Pinterest, or to invest in a course, to invest in a YouTube video just like you're doing right now, or to read a book that's going to help expand and grow your mind, that is true rest. Investing in inner work is so, so important. And I know that it can be really, really hard, especially if you feel like you don't have the time. But I'll tell you how to do it. There was a point in my life, it was maybe a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, right before starting this business, when I was working 2 jobs. I would go from my marketing job in the morning to the afternoon, and then from the afternoon to late at night, I was working as a hostess. And I needed both jobs because I needed to create income for myself, and I needed to also confirm that identity of being stressed. So back at the time when I had these 2 jobs and I was always hustling, I would give myself time to rest while I was driving and in between the jobs, because I literally had no other time. We always will make excuses. I don't have time to do this. When there's a will, there's a way. What I would do is I would listen to this one specific podcast, and this changed my life. It's called On Purpose by Jay Shetty. I've recommended it 1,000 times. It is so good. Every night, driving home from my job, it would be 11 p.m. at night, I would listen to this podcast, listening to people who were in positions like I was, who grew up in maybe abusive households, or who are working 2 jobs, trying to find their purpose. I would hear their story and how they switched and created their dream life and attracted their dream partners and business, everything. And it started switching different things in my mind to realize, if they can do it, I can do it too. When you surround yourself with people who are in the places that you want to go, you will go there too, because they are feeding you their vibrational frequency. So imagine that the music that you listen to or the conversations that you have, what if you replace that with an investment in your inner work? Maybe you don't drive, maybe you go for walks, maybe while you're cooking your food, maybe while you're showering. There is time for you to invest in inner work. If you do that, it will change your life. I honestly do not know if I would have my business today if it were not for listening to that podcast and investing in my inner work in the free time that I had. And that's also a huge reason why I'm going to create the next course for my business girls, for my girls who want to be an entrepreneur or a business owner or a content creator or a coach. I need to create this course because I need to give tools, I need to give the blueprint to other women who were in positions like I was, because you cannot be there forever. It was one of the toughest times of my life. That was major survival mode, working the 2 jobs and being stressed and feeling broke. I want to lift anyone who's in that up. So that course will be coming very, very soon. I just announced it in the last live stream. So excited to bring it to you. And what we're going to be talking about specifically related to this video is how to rest your mind through deep inner work, because if you are not rested, you cannot create. I have created my best content, my best business ideas while being rested. When I was on vacation in Mexico last week, oh my gosh, I was constantly writing down in the notes section of my phone. So many ideas were coming because my body was rested. So we'll be talking about more how to fuel your creative energy in that course. My girls that have emailed me about it, I don't have any information for it that's on my website yet, but it will be coming very, very soon. If you stay on the live streams and are subscribed to thefeminineglow.com, I will email you all information. Okay, so what else did I want to say here? Yes, okay, so number 5, dedicate time to invest in inner work. Number 6, change your view on rest and change your perspective on laziness. This one is a little bit of a tough one with being lazy. So I do believe that there's a difference in being lazy versus just resting and honoring your body. Lazy to me is when it's a personality trait to slack off, to give low effort, to give cheap effort, and to not strive for anything. It's to stay comfort in being mediocre. That to me is lazy. If you feel that you're lazy, but if you are here right now, I guarantee you're not lazy. But I also think that what a lot of people assume is laziness, but it's not, is just a person who is unrested, who is procrastinating and putting things off. It's not lazy, because they have the vision, they have the excitement and the desire to do it, but there's an internal block coming from being unrested. So there's a huge difference there. Rest, you want to change your perspective on it. What if instead of looking at rest as your mom or your dad looked at it, as something shameful, something you should never do, what if you instead looked at it as a way to love and honor and nourish your body? What if you looked at rest as your gasoline or your fuel to fill you up, to go and to have momentum? Something that I did, and I think I've talked about this in the Master Your Feminine Energy course, how to become comfortable with resting. Do it in front of the people who originally shamed you for it. So growing up, I think I'll share it here. So my mom and I had this deep conversation maybe a year ago. And I had started during COVID when I had to move back in with my mom. What I started doing is resting in front of her. I started sitting on the couch and scrolling on my phone. Growing up, she never let my siblings and I rest. And it's nothing against my mom, I love her, but we were kind of shamed when we would rest. And we were always told, wake up early, you have to always be doing something, reading something, be productive, was what we were told. If we would sleep in past 9 a.m. in the summer, my mom would come in our room with a vacuum cleaner and we would be up. And I started kind of testing how to rewire myself out of that programming of shame when it comes to rest. And I just allowed myself to sit in front of her on the couch. And it was so uncomfortable. I was so scared. Excuse me. And what started happening is my body started becoming okay with rest the more that I would do it. It took maybe like 6 months of just sitting on the couch in front of her, sitting in that discomfort, as I always tell you girls to do, and making my new identity someone who's able to rest. If you can do it in front of the person that shamed you or who created the reality that you're trying to break, bonus tip. That is what I did with my mom, and it changed everything. And about a year ago, I think I had this conversation with my mom, and we were talking, and I said, Mom, how come you never let us rest growing up? Why were we always so productive? And oh my gosh, it gives me chills to say this. What my mom and I realized is she was in survival mode pretty much my whole childhood. And because of that, it put my siblings and I in survival mode. So because my mom couldn't rest, we didn't rest either. It was just a part of how we were. She thought that always being on the go, being in that fight or flight, which she was how we should be too. She has now healed out of that, and so have I. But it's so amazing what inner work does for you. It's so powerful. Thinking back to my own examples, a huge example in my own life was with TikTok. And I've been on TikTok for maybe a year and a half now. And when I started on TikTok, I had so much momentum because it wasn't a business. It was just for fun. And what started happening is it became a business because everyone was demanding, please make this, please answer this question, which I love, but I got really burnt out. And I had been on the grind since I started. And about a month ago, I said, I'm not going to post, I'm not going to create any content on TikTok for a week. And I didn't. It fueled me with so much new creativity and inspiration to then come back and start posting on TikTok consistently. When I tried to create content from that place of stress and anxiety and unrest, the content was not as good. Even my view count was really, really low. It was such a struggle to sit down and make content. I hated doing it, and I started procrastinating. Then when I said, I'm going to give myself a week, and this is so important, give yourself I told you don't give yourself a timeline, but with this, give yourself a timeline. Give yourself a specific amount of days to stop doing something and to rest. Then what will happen is rather than trying to balance rest and working, you're just focusing on rest. You are no longer stressed while you're resting. You're no longer thinking of that to-do list while you're resting because you have this specific amount of time that you gave yourself. When you come back, you will be so much more energized and inspired to do what it is that you want. So that's a personal example. Shamed for sleeping? That's wild. Yeah, we weren't allowed to sleep in late. As someone who's been in survival mode the last few months, I can't emphasize your points enough. Such an underrated topic in regards to femininity. Thank you so much for shedding light on this. Yes, you're so welcome, girl. And thank you for sharing that with me, because I used to always have that fear. My content isn't really the feminine energy content that people expect. It's more on the inner work side. So I'm really happy to hear that this is helping you embrace your femininity. I love to hear that your girls' lives are changing. That's so amazing. Oh my gosh, this is so off topic, but something that happened. So if you girls were on I'm trying to think of what live stream it was. I had a live stream maybe 3 weeks ago, and I told you, I had come on and told you girls, the craziest thing happened to me last night. I was laying in bed and it was 2 a.m. and a scorpion stung me. It was, oh my gosh, it was so painful. I was freaking out. I screamed, jumped out of bed, and my whole leg was stinging for like 24 hours. My feet went numb, everything. So that happened 3 weeks ago. Guess what happened when I was in Mexico last week? I'm in the ocean, I'm relaxing, a crab pinches my leg. I've never experienced anything like this. So I'm just sitting in the ocean, and all of a sudden I feel this really strong pinch on my leg, and I still have the bruise right now. I'm like, what the heck is happening? I thought that a fish had come up and bit my leg, and I ran out of the ocean. I told my man, I said, I need to get to shore and get out of the water with me. I don't know what's in there. So we ran to the shore, found a lifeguard, and I asked the lifeguard in Spanish, I said, was this a fish that bit me? And he said, no, it was a crab that pinched you. And he goes, don't worry, it's fine, there's no venom or anything. I don't know what it is with my skin. Scorpion, crab, I don't know what's next. Things love to sting and pinch me. So it was bleeding a little bit, and then it turned into a bruise, but it's okay. And yes, I still went in the ocean afterwards. Oh, I've been stung by a scorpion too. Candace, I'm so sorry, girl. They're everywhere here in Las Vegas. It's so scary. Why are you getting attacked? I had that small thought. I'm like, okay, what am I creating? How am I attracting this? And then I thought, no, this is just natural life. So funny. So scary. Yeah. Ooh, my mom will tease me for always resting or even working while laying in bed, but I don't let it bother me because I'm happy while I work and when I rest. That's my girl. Yes, and you girls will not believe the amount of times that my one-on-one girls that I coach come and tell me this, how much they were shamed for resting. I'm so happy for this revival that we're having as a community, because resting is allowed. We need it. How to start YouTube. D, this is going to be something that I will be putting in my business course and my content creator course very, very soon. That course, I'm so happy. I am going to be doing that course live with you girls. So actually talking through a call, and you will be able to talk with me. We can interact. The Master Your Feminine Energy course, I had never watched anyone else's course before when I made that. And since then, I've invested in my own inner work, in my own courses through my mentors, and I've learned, oh my gosh, there's other ways to do courses. I can't believe I didn't think to do it live with you. So that one will be live with you girls, so we can talk. The craziest thing too, I was really, really wanting to stay in Mexico for one more day. I looked into the hotel, I was thinking, yeah, I could do this, like just one more day. And guess what happened on the day after I returned back home to Vegas? A hurricane hit Mexico. That is the craziest thing. If I had stayed another day, I would probably still be there trying to wait for the hurricane to pass. And I'm just thinking, God is so good. The way that He protects and guides me. I'm really praying for everyone that's in the hurricane right now in Mexico and in California. But God is good because I was saved. I love you girls. Yeah. Okay. Do you believe in Zodiac Retrogrades? I don't believe in astrology. I do believe that there's certain energy associated with the moon and with nature, but I don't believe in zodiac signs personally. Should we do the Master Your Feminine Energy course before the new one? Alma, that is a great question, girl. And it depends on your goal and your outcome. So the Master Your Feminine Energy course, it is soul level guidance to connect you to your feminine energy, your divine feminine energy. It is all of the inner work tools that you need to be the most confident, the most authentic, beautiful version of yourself. Absolutely, yes. This is a course that you should take no matter what. And everything that I've put in there has got me to becoming a business owner. The thing is, feminine energy and masculine energy, we need both. So you need to master your feminine energy in order to be the successful content creator or business owner or in a relationship, whatever your desire is. Your feminine energy impacts every single part of your life. So yes, the business course will be slightly different from the Master Your Feminine Energy course because it's more focused on how to build a business from the startup. And something I never told you girls is before I started creating this content on YouTube, I had a whole Google folder dedicated to topics that I wanted to make on YouTube. The topics were all about how to start a business, how to file an LLC, how to trademark your business name, how to start a YouTube channel, all of that. And I was sitting the other day and thinking, oh my gosh, it's really come full circle because what I originally wanted to use YouTube for, now I'm actually using. So I'm really, really excited. Alexis saw my question, I'm screaming. Ah, that's so funny. The course is the course going to be on YouTube? No, the course is not going to be on YouTube. That will be separate on my website, thefeminineglow.com. We will do the course probably on Zoom. I need to see how many people Zoom can hold at one time though. Yes. Oh, my dad would throw a little bit of water on her face if we slept in too long. That's not the soft girl life. I never knew I was in survival mode. Thank you so much. Yes. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that I was in it either until I sat and realized what are all of these signs pointing to. And then when I heard survival mode, fight or flight mode being talked about on the internet, it just all clicked. Something about the soft girl life too, the soft girl era. I even hesitated making sweatshirts, making merchandise that said soft girl era on it, but now I love it. The reason why I hesitated is because what I see so much on TikTok especially is I'm living the soft life, but there's something that's missing. It's masculine energy. And it's so surprising to say, but in order to have that feminine soft life, you have to still have your masculine energy. I see a lot of people just throw out the masculine energy. I don't want to be a masculine energy at all. You need it. I love my masculine energy. I would have never done everything in my life, created this business, this channel, my TikTok, if it weren't for my masculine energy. Any limiting belief that's telling you masculine energy is bad, I don't want it, remove that. That could not be further from the truth. You want to learn to embrace it because your masculine energy, like I talk about in the course, it's like that egg almost. It's that outer shell that protects your inner feminine energy. If you don't have that protection, where is the yolk going to go? And the soft girl life, I want you to know too, never fear that you are trying, or never fear your masculine energy when you're creating rest in your beautiful feminine life. Your masculine energy is what's going to get you there in the first place. So soft girl life is only possible with masculine energy, with that structure, with the I never want to say work, but with the vision, with the carrying out of the vision, with the planning, and actually taking the steps to follow what it is that you desire. There's nothing wrong with it. How do you stay focused on sharing this information without feeling jaded by some of the redundant content that uses the same terms? Yeah, so I don't watch a lot of content around what I teach because I'm so careful. I only listen to maybe one or two women and maybe one or two men. So I don't listen to a lot of content that talk about feminine energy unless it just randomly pops up on my TikTok page. what I do with my own business and my own channel is if I feel like I'm talking about the same thing over and over again, I will go and learn something new. I will go and open up my mind in a new way, read a new book, talk with someone new, explore a new place, push myself out of my comfort zone, face a fear. That teaches me more than anything, and it unlocks a new part of my mind. 99% of the time it does this. So I never feel like I'm repeating the information because I know it's impossible to say the exact same thing I've said before, and my energy is constantly changing. I am constantly leveling up in my own inner work, and I'm able to share with you a new version from that lens. Yeah. The reason, okay, so with astrology, the reason why I don't believe in astrology is because I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, and the Bible talks about how astrology is not a part of our faith. So what I'm also very mindful of is everyone here has different religions, different spiritualities. I am spiritual, and I also have a relationship with God. So I believe in energy, I believe in manifestation, I believe in everything on the spiritual side. And I also have a relationship with God. Astrology for me is not a part of my spiritual or energetic journey. Maybe for some people it is true, but for me it's not. Oh, so sorry my girls. For me it's not my truth. And multiple truths can exist at the same time. Lachelle. Oh, Lachelle! Hey girl! You should get a B12 shot. Yes, I took a lot of B12 already. I really should get a shot. Thank you so much, girl. Wow, that's in Islam too. Yes. I think that's why majority of my audience, I don't think I've ever told you girls this before, majority of my audience and the women that I coach and who are students in my courses live in the Middle East. Or they live in America or the United States or Europe, but they're very, very spiritual. And I think it's because the way that I teach, it has come from my own spirituality, my own relationship with God, and it's also come from my inner work journey and life experience and everything that I've learned and absorbed to myself. So I have that spiritual, religious side that I bring in with it. It's so interesting that in Islam, there's no belief in astrology either. Okay. By the way, my girls, feel free to ask me anything right now. I'm going to recap the points real quick. How to rejuvenate and revive your feminine energy. Number 1, it was to remove the timeline. Number 2, give yourself 1 day dedicated to rest. Resting only. Do not open up your emails, nothing. Number 3, reward yourself for resting. A bonus tip is reward yourself in your love language. Number 4 is to slow down. Take that dial, turn it down by 15%. Number 5, dedicate time to invest in inner work. That podcast that I recommended for you girls was called On Purpose by Jay Shetty. Love, love, love that podcast. That's the first podcast that I actually ever started listening to. I've never thought I would be a podcast girl, but here we are. And number 6 is to change your view on rest. Change your perspective of laziness and rest. Yes, so those are the 6 ways to do it. Okay, let's see what your girls are saying. Yes, I love that you mentioned you need to be out of survival mode in order to create. Yes. What had happened when I created this business and this YouTube channel, I had quit one of my jobs. So I told you girls I was working 2 jobs. I had quit the marketing one and used my time during the day to start focusing on my business. Because the way I saw it was, what if I took this time and energy, I'm making $20 an hour here, what if I stopped giving that time to someone else and I put it into something that I'm passionate about? I wonder what that energy would do. So during the day I would focus on my business, and at night I would go and work at the hostess job. I had so much more energy and rest, and because of that I could create more. Can you be in your feminine energy in high school? Girl, yes! Oh my gosh, you're in your feminine energy from the second you're born. And men and women have feminine energy and masculine energy. We have both. Your feminine energy, it's something that you are born with. It's not something that you kind of learn over time. Maybe if you've been disconnected from it, you learn how to get it back. But my girl, it's already in you. How I would show up in your feminine energy in high school, I wish I could go back and tell myself this. Stop caring what other people think. It does not matter. The way that you dress, the way that you speak, where you sit at lunch, your plans for the future, don't compare it to anyone else and stop trying to fit in. Who created the norm? Who created the way that you're supposed to be? It's all made up from a limited perspective of someone else. And I'll tell you this, if the majority are doing it, it's probably not special or unique. So don't try to be like the majority. You focus, I cannot believe that you're in high school right now and you're already investing in your inner work. You focus on investing in your inner work, being the most confident, the most radiant, happy version of yourself. Everything else will fall into line. And don't get caught up in the things that are temporary. Don't get caught up in anything that pulls down your energy. That's advice I would give for you to stay in your feminine energy in high school. I'm going to take a couple more questions because my throat is probably going to give out at any second. Why when I do inner work I feel at peace, but instantly after I finish I'm so easily irritated? Because the old identity comes up right after you have accessed that higher version of yourself. So let's say that you are journaling and you are doing some shadow work. You're doing some shadow work journaling prompts. You are connecting to that highest, most true version of yourself. Shadows, all that shadow work is your shadow side. The side that's typically hidden starts to be revealed. And then what happens is you start to connect to that real version of you. It's like that inner core that's been hidden. And maybe you're not used to that. None of us are when we're doing inner work. The second that you close the journal and you go back to your normal life, that old identity starts to pop up because you've been living that way again and again and again. The more inner work you do, the more you stay connected to that higher version of yourself, and the more that old identity starts to feel unfamiliar and not safe. There's I think it's the very, very first lesson in the Master Your Feminine Energy course goes very, very deeply into this. How to change the old identity, how to rewire your brain. So that's somewhere that I would start if you really want to invest in reprogramming your mind. But girl, that's so normal. Don't feel that there's anything wrong with feeling irritated. It's just the old identity mixing with the new identity. What do you think of feminine archetypes? I just listened to my first podcast the other day on feminine archetypes, and I thought that it was so fascinating. I actually am really, really drawn to learning more about it. I don't know too much on it, so I can't speak a lot on it yet, but everything that the woman was saying in the podcast, I do agree with. I think feminine archetypes are a really, really great way to sum up feminine energy, different stages of feminine energy. Ooh, eucalyptus should help you recover faster. Girl, thank you. I love these tips that you girls are giving me. Does feminine energy always have to be light, soft, and airy? Being from a place where it's normalized to be slightly more aggressive in the way that we speak, I struggle with. No, it does not have to be light. Because guess what, my girl? There are multiple sides to feminine energy. Light, dark, wild, divine, goddess-like. There's so many aspects. What I want you to know, feminine energy does not look any specific way, and it's not supposed to, because there's no one woman that's a role model for feminine energy. Feminine energy changes depending on that woman. Another example that I can give you of that is even with the merchandise like this that I've created for you girls. So I have these sweatshirts that I thought they are so cute. I love these. They're filling up my closet right now because I've already ordered so much. They say like soft girl era and the feminine glow on there. I received a comment from someone saying, Alexis, you shouldn't make sweatshirts because they're not going to help women in their feminine energy. They're not feminine to wear a sweatshirt. And what I had told her is, I thank you for the feedback, but there's multiple sides to feminine energy. Feminine energy is not just wearing dresses. Some women feel so feminine wearing a sweatshirt because they are comfy, their body is rested, They are more feminine than a woman wearing a dress and disconnected from her body, disconnected from her comfort. So feminine energy doesn't look any specific way. You can wear a sweatshirt, you can be soft and airy and so in your light feminine energy, or you can be wearing a dress and you can have more of that dark feminine energy, more mysterious, more withdrawn. Both are feminine energy. It's not anything specific. It's when you are the most radiant, the most authentic version of yourself. When you have invested in inner work and you are living in full alignment in every area of your life. That is feminine energy. Dog reveal. Oh my gosh, my dogs were in the Master Your Feminine Energy course so much because they kept wanting to come in. I don't know where they are right now. They're probably downstairs. One of them sprained his ankle, so I feel so bad for him. But I have a Morkie, a Maltese and a Yorkie mix, and then also a Golden Doodle. The Golden Doodle Oliver is, oh, he's so precious. There they go. They want to come in here. All right, I'm going to answer one more question, my girls, then I'm going to leave. Hi, Alexis. Love your content. Love from Kenya. Oh, Joan. Hi, girl. Love to you from Las Vegas. Let's see. Yeah, I really love that question, Yaya, about does feminine energy always have to be light and airy? Definitely not, girl. I love this for you girls. Everyone who's sharing about how to change your life. Yes. Should we do inner work every day? Yes. But remove the pressure, remove the timeline, remove the to-do list. Inner work is something that you can do while you are in a conversation. It's something that you can sit down and journal about for hours. Inner work has many different forms. For me, inner work is in things such as my own relationships, my business. When I'm having that urge, Alexis, you need to sit down and get your to-do list done, I will sit and do inner work in that moment and say, am I addicted to stress and being productive, or do I actually need to get things done? Is the old identity popping up, or does this align with the highest version of myself? You can do inner work at every single second. The best piece of inner work, and I emphasize this heavily in the Master Your Feminine Energy course, is the best piece of advice that I can give to you for how to do inner work every day is to observe rather than react when you are triggered. So let's say that you're in a conversation with your man or with your mom or a friend and you get triggered. They say something that upsets you. Rather than firing back or giving the silent treatment or getting upset, reacting in any way, observe the emotion in your body. Why do I feel triggered? Where is this coming from? What is the wound that this is scratching? That is how you do inner work. To me, that is way more powerful than journaling and reading majority of the time. That is true inner work. So if you can do that, you are doing inner work. You are just totally on your inner work journey and leveling up. Your content brought me back into my feminine. Women nowadays get forced into their masculine. Yes, it is hard to turn it off at times. Yes, girl, I'm so happy that you shared that with me. Susie, we love you. Oh, I love you girls. I'm gonna miss you. I am gonna go and rest my voice right now. Speaking of rest, thank you girls so much for all of your amazing questions and for hanging out with me today. I have missed you. This has been so much fun talking and hanging out. I will probably be back on Friday for the next live stream. Please let me know whatever you'd like to see. And thank you for your constant messages and your comments and for sharing and even uplifting each other in this community. It's so beautiful to see. I'm so honored to be with you. All right, my girls, I love you and I will see you in the next video. Bye.